All right, all right, all right. We are back. We are back, everyone. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, maybe good morning. I don't know. I'm just going to use all three of those all day today. Anyway, we are back to our sponsor showcase number 2. I'm very excited to have 3 Trailblazers. We have the Education Trailblazers. We're going to hear from them, Traction Complete, and Huron. We are so excited to turn up the heat again. Each interview will be 7 minutes. We'll go face past insights and get some great inspiration from all of our sponsors and their partners. What else do we want to hear about today, or are we going to do today?
Well, 7 minutes is real. So we'll take you down to the last second, but you may hear a buzzer go off. So let's all be ready for that. We might need one of those signs, Haley, for our next round to get that buzzer going. What do you think?
I got to.
All right, you got us.
So for those who can't see Haley, she's in the background keeping us on track. So, all right, Flo, are we ready?
We are. So let's kick things off by welcoming Kathy from Education Trailblazers and Britt from Gordon College. I'm going to keep the shout outs going. Can't help it. Kathy has founded the Salesforce Higher Education Advisory Council, where we got to know each other really well. She's also a Salesforce MVP and Golden Hoodie recipient. Thank you for all that you do. We're going to go ahead and turn it over to you and Britt. We're going to start the timer now. Are you ready?
Okay, now I'm ready. Hi there, I'm Kathy Lukeman, longtime higher ed first-time sponsor as chair of Education Trailblazers. Education Trailblazers Association is a nonprofit membership organization designed to help institutions and the professionals who power them grow, transform, thrive in their next chapter. Our mission focuses really on developing institutional capacity, strengthening governance, helping campuses make the most of Salesforce as a modern operating platform. We're not used to those. We do this through best practices and training and workshops and solution sharing. But while the nonprofit was established a few years ago, I establish a lot of stuff, don't I? We've really focused this year quietly on working with founding members to build out resources and benefits that we will use to empower schools when we open up the association for membership. Gordon College is one of the founding members, and Britt Carlson-Eaton, Vice President for Advancement and the executive sponsor of Gordon's Salesforce transformation, has been leading the charge. Britt, I want to jump right in here. What was the impetus for Gordon's desire to move away from those legacy systems and towards Salesforce as a Salesforce platform-powered institution?
Yeah. Thank you, Kathy. Great to be with you all. So just tell a little bit about our story. Gordon is facing what many schools are facing right now: rising enrollment pressure, rising expectations for our learners in terms of their experience on the day-to-day basis, and the realization that our legacy systems and our old systems just can't keep up with the increasing competition within the enrollment space and then the kind of the user experience that's expected. But we had a kind of a guiding exemplar case for us. So in advancement, so that's my area within the organization, we've been on Salesforce and our team had been really excelling. And we decided we would kind of take a next step, and we brought our graduate enrollment over onto the Salesforce platform. And we were able to do that really successfully. And then seeing how getting the 2 particular areas for the organization on a shared platform, we really saw how quickly we could move, how efficiently we were working, and really saw the benefits of the data that we were able to share between the 2 parts of the organization. This really helped us to gain some confidence and really start to have a vision for what can happen when the right strategy and the right technology is paired together. And as we saw how much the industry, higher education is changing, rapid change, rapid technology change, really disrupted industry. We started to have some real clarity on what role unified data will play in underpinning kind of everything that we will need to do going forward. And it kind of hit us like we could not afford, actually literally could not afford to keep piecing things together. We needed a unified modern platform the whole institution could use, and we couldn't wait. We couldn't wait any longer for things to mature. We needed to go with the strategy now. So instead of looking on for add-on solutions, we really decided to go all in with Salesforce and move towards SIS on that. And really the investment was really, how do we create a full life cycle experience for our learners, from pre-collegiate programs through enrollment, through graduate experience, through alumni, and then legacy, and having opportunities to cycle through at multiple levels. And Salesforce is a tool to do that, and to be able to do it on a really accelerated timeline.
Yeah, accelerated for sure. And it's hard for schools to even approach thinking of what you've done. Can you talk a little bit about the criteria that shaped your decision making?
Yeah, we really knew that we were going to need, as we kind of entered into this conversation, had those kind of realization moments, we really knew that for something this comprehensive for the institution, a strategic partner was going to be key for us. So we needed a trusted, experienced partner who understood higher education, who understood governance, understood all the dimensions of the change management that something this comprehensive for the institution would take. We also really knew we needed to move fast. We had a strategy we wanted to put into play. There was kind of just no time to waste. Our board was not going to be satisfied with okay, here's what we're going to do in 3 years' time. They wanted us to make a decision and move out. So really, we really were looking at what was the tool that could deliver the comprehensive solution that we're looking for, unified data, and who could do it in a way that was sustainable for the institution and could do it at speed. So really, those are the three things we were looking for. Like many of you, I think, on the call, as I see all the hey Kathy's in the chat. We knew Gordon knew Kathy from our early days on the advancement side in Salesforce. So as we were having kind of these institutional realizations that we were wanting to move in this direction, Kathy was our first phone call. And at that point, Kathy was just thinking about this launch of Education Trailblazers. And so we were really excited to explore what a deeper partnership could look like. I'll just say the partnership between Gordon and Education Trailblazers has been a true partnership since day one. Kathy and her team are truly on Team Gordon. Like, they're all in with us, like in the trenches. So from kind of day one, immediate start, they're diving in. They've been helping us by offering solutions and really just helping us keep our technical debt at a minimum. So really thinking about how do we move as much as possible to out of the box functionality and solutions. And it's just been so clear, their commitment to our success. I mean, they're just really all in with us. And they've also helped us push our thinking. So we've had a pretty aggressive timeline that we were working on. I'll have to say, sometimes Kathy will say, well, do you want to do more? And do you want to do it faster? And so I think that's really helped us even think bigger than maybe we would have been inclined to think initially. So I'll just give an example that we're in the trenches with right now. So Kathy and I were just chatting about this actually before we got on like the stage, the official screen. It's one we're right now in the middle of. So at the beginning of October, we asked Kathy if they would be willing to do basically 3 projects concurrently with us. Replace.
Oh no! I'll tell you more later.
Thank you too for sharing. That was really great. Thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Britt, for joining us today. And thank you again, Kathy and Education Trailblazers, for your sponsorship. You have really made this event possible for the whole community again. Thank you. All right, who's up next?
Next up, we have Anne-Marie from Traction Complete and Dean from Notre Dame.
All right, come on up on stage. I see Dean. Hello, Dean.
Hello, can you hear me?
All right, let's see. All right, are we Anne-Marie? Oh, there she is. All right. All right, quick sound check. Everyone's good?
Yeah, I think
All right,
so.
fantastic. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Traction Complete. You are one of our first-time sponsors this year, so we are so happy to have you part of this community. I hope you enjoy it as much as we all do. And Dean, welcome. Dean is on our Higher Ed Advisory Council and part of the current leadership team for the Higher Ed Advisory Council. Always good to see you, Dean, from Notre Dame.
Thank
We're
you. Good to see you all.
Right, Dean? Football, we're keeping that out of this one?
Not talking about that today.
All right. I'll keep it out.
All right. Well, I think we're ready to get started. You'll see the timer there. It will start counting down, and then you'll see the timer come back on screen right about a minute when a minute's left, and we'll wrap you up if we need to.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
You're on.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like everybody knows Dean, so maybe I don't need to introduce Dean, but I will certainly introduce myself. As I said, Anne-Marie Fleming. I'm the product marketing manager at Traction Complete. And for those of you who do not know Traction Complete, we help organizations, including a lot of universities, cleanse, connect, and orchestrate their Salesforce data, which means we help overcome challenges like getting rid of your duplicates and ensuring that you have seamless routing and assignment and AI account enrichment, and something we're going to talk about right now, which is hierarchy management and automation. And so I'm thrilled to have Dean here. Dean, if you don't know him, is the Director of Application Services and Information Tech and Services with the University of Notre Dame. And I'm very proud to say that Notre Dame has been a customer, more so a partner with Traction Complete for about 8.5 years. So that just makes being here with Dean today even more special. So Dean, thank you for speaking with us.
Happy to do it.
That's great. Okay, so let's jump right in. Dean, what was the data challenge that really pushed you to rethink how you manage corporate and foundation relationships, and how did Traction Complete's hierarchy solution help with that?
Yeah, this really goes back to when we were first working to bring our advancement organization into Salesforce, coming out of Lucian Advance. And we really did that in a two-stage process. The first stage was managing, the biographic information and the basically the touch points or the engagement with our benefactors and the organizations, foundations that we work with. And as we talk to our data integrity team, I should say that we are fortunate within our advancement organization that we do have a dedicated team of people that are focused on all things data quality. And so as we talked about this project, they expressed some of the concern and the frustration they had been dealing with trying to manually build out these organization hierarchies or understand the linkages. And the driver for this was corporate and foundation relations in particular was trying to understand the overall engagement of an organization, say a large company like Honeywell Aerospace. We may have opportunities going on with many different levels of that broader organization. And we needed a way to roll that together so we could have a bigger picture view. So if we had some leadership from the university engaging leadership from that organization, they could have a conversation that was accurately reflecting that organization's engagement. Organizations have complex hierarchies, there's legal relationships, there's mergers and acquisitions. And so our data integrity team was spending a lot of time just trying to understand the basics. They were using many different online resources. And at the end of the day, that really wasn't their expertise, but they were doing the best they could to try and create this hierarchy so that we could understand these relationships and how these things could roll up. So when we found two different tools, Traction being the one that helps us build the hierarchies, but also D&B Connect. So in combination, the data integrity team, they were able to add clean organization records. They could, in a search before create, the DUNS number would be added. It would be enriched with firmographic information. Traction would build the organization hierarchies for us. And it really simplified their lives. It gave us much better data that our corporate and foundation relations teams could leverage and utilize, not only in trying to do this roll-up of engagement, but as they were prospecting as well.
Love hearing that. So looking at that progress that you've made, what outcomes or key takeaways would be most helpful for other institutions with similar data or hierarchy challenges?
Yeah, I would say, as I mentioned, we really had the luxury of having this data integrity team. And I should also mention, we weren't connected to other systems where other people were creating organization records in our Salesforce instance. So we didn't have these extraneous orgs coming in that we'd have to then match and dedupe and do all that. So we did have somewhat of a controlled environment in that way. So those are two things. If you have the ability to limit who can create new records, and also if you can kind of control where they're coming from, it's another aspect of that same concept. But if you have integrations from other systems, managing and controlling and putting resources to address those records that are being created there so that we're not continuing to accumulate more duplicates or various versions of the same thing.
Yeah, interesting. So looking a little bit into the future, is there any next steps or best practices that you're excited to build on that other universities could then apply to their own advancement strategies?
Yeah, I think one of the tools that I'm interested in that Traction has been building out is this roll up anything. So, many of the admins out there are familiar with declarative roll-up summary and some other tools that you may be using to create these roll-ups. But now having that tool within Traction is just one less other app to manage and keeps kind of everything in one place. So as we hear these use cases where folks are needing these roll-ups, this is going to be a helpful way to do that. We're also going to be creating an integration between our enterprise instance of Salesforce and the one that we use in advancement. So fortunately, the advancement orgs was originated in the enterprise instance, so we have a lot of the same records, but there have been new records created. So we will have to start addressing the issue of records being created in both orgs and how do we cleanse and organize those and make sure we're not creating duplicates.
Yeah, no, that's great. Looks like we have one more minute, so I'm going to throw another one at you. So what would you say has surprised you most throughout this whole journey?
Yeah, I think the great thing about Traction is it helps us identify duplicates. The thing that we've struggled with, and this is really more of kind of an advancement thing and probably even more specifically a Notre Dame thing, where there's a reluctance to merge those records because we have giving associated with those legal entities at that point in time, and there's a history associated with that. So even though we've got these great tools to create clean new instances and organize the hierarchies and detect duplicates, we're not always able to act on them in the way I would have thought. But it's the reality we live in, and it seems to still be working for us quite well.
Well, I appreciate that. So 9 seconds to go. I just want to say a big thank you, Dean. Thank you to the organizers, and thank you to everybody that watched. Love this event.
Yeah, thanks to all the folks that came and really make this event a real community time of learning. So appreciate being here. Thank you.
Wow, look at that. Right up to the end. Fantastic and perfection. Thank you all so much.
It was great to hear your story. Thank you for sharing it.
All right. Thank you.
Ready
All
for
right.
the third one?
We are bringing this sponsor session number 2 to a close, but we are wrapping things up with this third showcase. We need to bring on to the stage Joanna and Tracy. And who do I see?
Hey, y'all.
I see. Hey, hello. Good afternoon. I know what time it is in Colorado. How are you,
Mic
Joanna?
check 1, 2.
You know
Okay.
these time zones? I'm a mess with it.
Yeah.
I'm on Eastern time. We're running this on Pacific time, and here I'm sitting in Mountain time. Like, what is this?
Nonetheless, you're sitting in Arizona who doesn't do a time change. That's even crazier. Anyway.
We will keep this going.
All right. Go ahead. Let's
I'd
go.
love to give our shout outs. We're having fun with this in these showcases. So a shout out to Joanna, a longtime contributor and champion for higher ed and the community. Joanna is an emeriti member of the Higher Education Advisory Council and a Salesforce MVP Hall of Famer. And it's not a conference without a FloJo show. So I'm thrilled to have you here. All right, 7 minutes on the clock.
All right. Okay. Tracy, Joanna, you're on.
All right. Thank y'all so much. Just like they said, Joanna Iterby, Higher Ed CRM Markets Lead here with Huron. And I'm excited to be here with Tracy Henneman with American University. Tracy, please introduce yourself, your role at AU, and a brief summary of the work that we've done together over the past 3 years.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tracy Henneman, AVP of Application and Data Services at American University. I lead AU's technology strategy and digital transformation, overseeing enterprise systems, product and project management, data analytics, and AI. I've been working with Huron on our Salesforce education and marketing cloud journey for over 3 years. We started with an assessment for undergraduate and graduate recruiting and admissions. And then we did an implementation. So I'm happy to say that we went live with undergrad in 2024, and we just went live a few months back with graduate admissions in 2025. And Huron has been deeply embedded with our teams from the beginning, helping us evolve from siloed solutions to a unified enterprise platform. And what's been most exciting is it really positioning us for that 360-degree view of the student. So this is the first step with recruiting and admissions, but we are really excited to see all of the different things that we can do throughout the student journey.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tracy. So which specific achievements or milestones would you say best demonstrate the success of this initiative so far?
So I have a few of them. The first is that unified platform and that consistent experience across both of our populations, which really enables us to centralize our support for the entire platform and really make the experience for our applicants and our staff a much more efficient experience. The next thing is we've been able to actually take the next step with extending our applicant data to our new student activities. So we've done things like we created a student tracker for onboarding. We are doing texting for interventions. We're using Blackthorn event management to do student orientation. We're also sending out communications and newsletters to new students. So we're really excited about that. And the next step for us is to really bring on those continuing students and continue with that experience. Another milestone is we were positioned well for AI, and we are implementing our first AI agent this month. We are early adopters of the recruiting and admissions agent, and Huron and Salesforce have partnered with us to get that off the ground, and we are ready to go, which is going to make the prospect experience much, much better. It also will enable our prospects to start an application and register for events. And then last but not least, this is a really important milestone, is Huron really helped us to establish our support model, helping us to really define clear ownership, predictable release cycles, a roadmap process, all of those things that we need to do in order to be successful as an organization. So that was really, really important to us. Huge milestone there.
Yeah, several huge milestones. Y'all are really trailblazing throughout the entire recruitment and admissions life cycle. So what advice would you give to another institution who's just getting started on a similar journey?
So I would say, don't treat this as a tech project. It's not a tech project. It's an enterprise program. Huron, from the very beginning, helped us think about governance, which I just spoke about, change management, very, very important, and then long-term sustainability from the start. It's really important to think about those things right up front and plan as you go so that when you're live, you have a really solid process. Build your product operating model very early. Figure out who owns those decisions, who owns the roadmap, and be able to really think about moving through the life cycle and how you're going to get things implemented. The next thing is data. You need solid data. You can't do anything, personalization, agents, anything without good data. And then third, I would say choose a partner that operates as part of your team. Huron didn't simply implement, they helped us architect for the future, not just for this go live, but for all of the pieces that we have yet to come.
Awesome. And if you had to describe this partnership's impact in one word or one statement, what would that be and why?
If I had to choose one word, it would be transformative. It's been transformative because of the deep collaboration and strategic alignment across the teams. And the way this work has reshaped our ability to innovate, it's really been just transformative. Thinking about modernizing admissions, deploying agents, moving confidently through a process that's unified, And then again, thinking about that 360-degree view of the student is really just very important. When we think about the future, we think about prospects that first learn about AU all the way through to when they become an alum and a donor. And that's a long process. That's a journey. So that's very important. It's been very transformational for us.
Absolutely. And I think this day and age, digital transformation is a term that we hear thrown out a lot, but really y'all's story at American University throughout your entire journey has been truly transformative. And we've been very proud to be a partner along for the ride throughout the journey. And we're looking forward to what's coming next. And with that, we have just under a minute left. So I will say that we put out before, but Huron, we're a 23-year-old firm established to serve higher education, with many of us having sat in your seats before. We do genuinely serve the entire institution, and we understand where you're coming from on your journey, and we serve that lifelong learner life cycle. So we are happy to be here to help y'all put possible into practice, and we appreciate y'all's partnership at AU. Tracy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Joanna. Appreciate you and the team at Huron. More to come.
Wow, they really didn't want that buzzer to happen.
They did. Look, they have 18
Y'all
seconds.
started scaring people with the buzzers. I didn't want to jump out of my
Chicken
seat.
dinner. All right.
Yes, you definitely for the win. Thank you both so much.
Yes, thank you both so much. Is my mic on? Yes, it is. All right. Thank you all so much. And thank you for helping us wrap up Showcase number 2, Sponsor Showcase. Thank you again to all our sponsors in this showcase. We had Education Trailblazers, thank you. We had Traction Complete, thank you. And we had Huron Consulting, thank you. Thank you for sharing the stories. And thank you, Huron, for being a 4-year sponsor. So appreciate it. And it is now time to get ready for the next set of 4 sessions that are coming up shortly.
See you there.
Enjoy.